Hi folks, it's 25 to 7 UK time on Friday the 7th of March 2025. I want to talk about the coming full moon eclipse. The eclipse is actually going to be about 6:50, maybe 6:30, 6:50, just after sunrise UK time on Friday the 14th of March. So the total eclipse of the moon won't be visible from Britain or Europe. It will be visible from the Americas, north and south. Now, just before the eclipse, with 48 hours before the eclipse of the moon, the sun in the sky will pass at the same degree as Saturn. They'll be conjunct in terms of longitude, not latitude, but in longitude. So by the time the sun has moved a bit beyond Saturn and it is full moon, the sun will be still very close to Saturn. So the full moon is opposite both the sun and Saturn. Now, when you look at it in an ephemeris, in a timetable of planetary places, you can see that the moon's nearly at the end of 23 degrees of Virgo, and the sun's at the end of 23 degrees of Pisces, and Saturn's halfway through 22 degrees of Pisces. So you can see the opposition when you look in the ephemeris. And when you look at it on a chart, when you see a chart wheel, you can see the full moon on one side of the wheel, and on the other side of the wheel you can see the sun conjunct Saturn. And that's how 90% of astrologers will look at it. They'll see it in a two-dimensional perspective. But I grew up teaching myself astrology long before computers were around, let alone software programs. So I learned how to do it by actually going out there in the fields and looking at the stars and looking at the planets and seeing the angles for them over a period of days or weeks, or sometimes hours with the moon. So let me try and get this across to you simply. A full moon occurs when the Earth passes directly between the sun and the moon, in the same degree of longitude. Viewed from the sun, the Earth and moon are in the same degree of longitude. Viewed from the moon, the Earth and the sun are in the same degree of longitude. Viewed from the Earth, the sun and the moon are in opposite degrees of longitude. In this case, 23 3/4 Virgo, 23 3/4 Pisces. But this time it's a bit different because they're not only opposite each other in longitude, they're also opposite each other in latitude. That means that the line between the Earth and the moon, between the sun and the moon, the Earth in the middle, it's all a straight line. So the sun is going to be shining on the Earth, and that's going to create a cone shadow the other side of the Earth in the dark side, and in that shadow will be the moon. Now, because this is a near total eclipse, the moon's going to go pretty dark. It's not going to be one of those eclipses where it just turns a little bit silver or a little bit orange. There'll be a bit of orange on the edge of it, but most of it's going to go brown. It's going to go dark. So it's going to be quite a spectacular eclipse. But it's even more complicated because not only is it an eclipse, it's also opposite Saturn. Sun conjunct Saturn opposite moon with the Earth in the middle. So the light of the moon is going to be occluded. It's going to be hidden by the Earth's shadow. So the energy that the moon gives off to us as astrologers from an astrological perspective is going to be shut down. So because the sun is also conjunct Saturn, I suspect that around the eclipse there's going to be a lot of old men making big pronouncements which will probably only have very little substance. And immediately after, less than 24 hours after the eclipse, Mercury will go retrograde. This is the final big change of course in readiness for the big lineup that's coming at the end of March. And from next Friday, you're going to start seeing an escalation. The rhetoric is going to start ramping up. There's going to be lots and lots of promises and lots of big deals and very little substance. And it could get quite messy. Now, I've done a video for my membership, which I'm not going to be releasing to the world. But there I've said to them, look, you're astrologers or astrological students. You know to zip the lip and not let your buttons get pushed. You can be absolutely sure, however, that in the outside world, those people that don't know their astrology, and I don't mean most of you people, because you wouldn't be watching this if you weren't interested in astrology, they're going to be doing the headless chicken. They're going to be seeking someone else to blame for everything that's wrong in their life, and they're going to pick on all the usual suspects. And it doesn't matter whether you're left, right, centre, up, down, in, out, black, white, there's going to be someone else's fault. Whereas the astrologically minded, whom I consider to be the intelligentsia, will go, oh, wait a minute, this is just ludicrous. Right, step back, don't take sides, don't get involved, stay beneath the radar screen, this too will pass. By the time this is all over, around the start of the second week of April, we'll all be collectively going, were we mad? Why did we buy into this? Why did we get caught up in the hype and spin? Might be a bit late by then. But this eclipse is the start of it. It's been brewing for quite a time. Immediately after, well, within a few days of the eclipse being over, yes, Mercury goes retrograde, Venus will retrograde back into Pisces, the Sun will conjunct Neptune the day before equinox, which this year is on the 20th around 9 a.m. UK time. And we're going to have all these big planetary lineups. Venus will conjunct Neptune and the North Node and then go back and stand still conjunct Saturn for a week and a half. Mercury will retrograde back and conjunct Mercury and will conjunct Neptune and the North Node. And there'll be a total eclipse of the Sun in 3 weeks from today. So it's all going to go a little bit what I call monkey poo. And it would be very easy to get caught up in it, so don't. Be intelligent. And you're going to get clear signs of how this can develop in a week from now. So with this eclipse that's coming up next Friday, a week from today, 6.5 days from today, be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with others, make the necessary corrections, do the weeding, the pruning, the streamlining. Saturn's involved, so get rid of the excess waste. And no, I'm not Elon Musk in Doge, but get rid of the things that are past their sell-by date and have reached the end of their shelf life, because how can the future come in if it's still got to negotiate old baggage? This is a time of clearing the decks. The sensible ones will do things in an objective, detached and impersonal way. I sincerely hope that everyone watching this is one of them. Catch you soon. Bye now.